Hi, my name is Michael Ogmondo, the Fleeing Thinker. Today is 20th April 2020, and like all of you, right now I'm going through a hard time because Nepal is very strict about their lockdown, and that means that I am staying inside all the time except when I need to buy some food. Recently, I was watching some news, especially CNN, Fox News, and BBC, and they were saying that there are some source who actually was telling them that the origin of this virus could be from the virology lab of Wuhan, China. Now, as far as I know, that almost all scientists agree that the COVID-19 or the virus SARS-CoV-2 is a naturally occurring virus, and I will accept that. But it is possible that even though it is a natural virus, China might be the one who actually is studying it or experimenting it with, and it could got out, it could be out by accident, and maybe someone did it deliberately. But still, I'm going to assume that the origin of SARS-CoV-2 virus is from a wet market in China. But still, China should be responsible because we know China have lied to us for many weeks since this corona incident started. First of all, people who tried to warn other people about this virus was harassed. Police uh, harassed them and did take measures that they can't speak anymore. And we also know that they actually lied and said that as far as they know, corona can be transmuted human to human, and that's an absolute lie. They knew that people are getting sick because they are around other sick people, but still they hide that fact. And when they actually admitted that corona or SARS-CoV-2 can be transmuted from human to human, they did it on 20th January. By then it was too late for anyone else to have uh, checked the people who comes from China and things like that. So I hope that China will be held responsible for that. I was listening to a news short documentary by 60 Minute Australia, and they were saying that a US law firm is suing China for more than $6 trillion. But I don't think that things like that will work. But I think that governments should hold China responsible, and to be honest, they don't actually have to do much to do so. If nations like USA, UK, and EU say that we are not going to import any product that was made in China or owned by anything from any Chinese company, I think China will have to pay and will have to admit their guilt, and we will have to apologize. But will the nation like UK, USA, or EU decide that they are not going to buy any product that was made in China? I highly doubt that. Our previous experience said that they won't, because first of all they might be afraid that it might harm their own economy too, which probably will. But even if it harmed their economy in short term, long term, it will be beneficiary even for economies. Like if the big companies like Apple withdraw their factories from China and set up somewhere else, that country will be developed, and some of the factories could even go back to their origin. Like Apple could go back to somewhere in USA, and other company could do so. So in the end, it could also be financially beneficiary for them too. I mean, we do not care. I think we should not care if a company like Boeing or company like Apple lost their share or lost lots of money. As long as people, common people, we get paid and we get more payment out of the work we do, we should be for that. We shouldn't care about that the CEO of Boeing or CEO of Apple company lose their money. So what? That shouldn't matter to us at all. So I think in the end, it could be a very good thing that if country like USA, UK, and EU decide not to do any kind of business with China, and I do hope that China will pay, and that will mean that people currently who are suffering will get at least something. I do know that people who died, people who are starving right now, there can't be anything done about that. But still, things that we can do, we should do. I think that as a citizen of Earth, we should raise our voice and say that yeah, it is time for us to help anyone responsible for their guilt. It doesn't matter if China, it doesn't matter if USA, it doesn't matter who that is. It is time for us to have our voice to say that no, it can't be allowed anymore. If you like this video, please do consider to share it. I want my message to be shared. As you probably already know, I'm someone who had to flee my country, Bangladesh, because I spoke, and that's why I currently living in Nepal, and I do not know what my future is. So a share, a comment could help me to deal and go through this hard time. You can follow me through my YouTube channel, The Fleeing Thinker. You can also follow me through my Facebook page, The Fleeing Thinker. You can also consider to follow my fiancée, Sarah McKeon, who is a US citizen. I wasn't able to get a US fiancé visa because I couldn't produce the police clearance that Bangladesh authority refused to give me just because I spoke. Remember, I haven't committed any crime. The only charge that is against me is that I spoke against Islam, I spoke against the government, and I spoke. That's all. And I explained it to US Embassy that the reason that I couldn't produce police clearance because I spoke, and which is protected under the very first amendment of US Constitution. But still, US Embassy in Dhaka refused my visa. I could have been in USA by now with my fiancé, but I couldn't because I spoke. So please do consider to share it. I hope that you and your family will be free and will be safe from this pandemic. I know that we are all suffering in varying degrees. Just hope this suffering will make us realize as a human we need to be together, we need to care for each other, and we need to be strong in hard times so we can support ourselves and we can support who are in need. Thanks for watching this video.